So let me set out this government's approach to the economy first. When we came to power in May 2010, we inherited the largest structural deficit in our peacetime history. Our deficit was the highest of any major developed economy. To put it bluntly, this country was on the brink of bankruptcy. As a result, we were being forced to borrow around 200,000 a minute to pay over 120 million a day in interest on the debts left to us by our Labour predecessors. And so when the coalition government was formed, our overriding priority was to rescue the economy by repairing the public finances and ensuring that this country lives within its means once again. And our Labour opponents argue that we should deal with the deficit at a slower pace, or even that we should borrow more to spend more. Well, I don't know about you, but as far as I can see, it only takes simple common sense to understand that you don't solve a debt crisis by creating more debt. Not only would Labour's approach inflict deep and lasting economic damage, it would also be morally wrong to laden future generations with an ever larger legacy of debt. And when Labour advocate large cuts in VAT, they have a duty to tell us where they would find the additional 15 billion that would cost. They have not done so. But there's no doubt that we've had to make many hard choices since coming to office, nor is there any doubt that our economy has been severely hampered by the ongoing crisis in the Eurozone. Yet 2.5 years on, we've reduced Labour's deficit by a quarter and gained the confidence of the international markets. That's kept interest rates low, which is crucial for everyone who runs a business or who pays a mortgage, whether it's Northern Ireland or right across the whole of the UK. To help business, we've cut the UK's rate of corporation tax. By the end of this Parliament, our corporate tax rates will be the lowest of any major developed economy. And we're setting up the Funding for Lending scheme to help businesses right across businesses access much needed finance to get investment flowing again. And I'm keen to work closely with Sammy to ensure that Northern Ireland gains the full benefit of these and other schemes to get the banks lending to business again. And now at last we're seeing the first tentative signs that our economy is healing. Across the UK, the economy is growing and unemployment is falling. And let me say that we've been helped in our efforts to fix the economy by the fact that this country decided to stay out of the euro and keep its own currency. And back in the 1990s, when I was campaigning against UK membership of the euro, people told me I was fighting a losing battle. They said scrapping our currency was inevitable as the next stage of European integration. And they said, if you remember, that the euro was the passport to economic stability and prosperity. Well, how hollow those claims have turned out to be. And parties like the Conservatives and the DUP should be proud of the fact that we were in the forefront of the campaign to keep our currency and defend our sovereignty from encroachment from Brussels. But turning back to the present, no one underestimates the scale of the economic challenges facing us here in Northern Ireland. In particular, we're too dependent on public spending, even more so than at the time of the Belfast Agreement in 1998. So I share the determination of the Executive to rebalance the economy and boost the private sector. Many of the responsibilities rest with local ministers, with Peter, with Sammy and Arlene in particular, and I pay tribute to the great work that they do to promote Northern Ireland in the intensely competitive global race for jobs and investment. And for its size, Northern Ireland is the best performing region in the UK when it comes to direct foreign investment, with striking success, for example, in the financial services technology sector. But in some respects, we still do lag behind the Republic of Ireland. So the government's been looking very hard at the case for devolving corporation tax to the Executive to enable Northern Ireland to become even more competitive than it is now. The ministerial working group set up to examine this has completed its work, and a report has gone to the Prime Minister. As he said during his very successful visit earlier this week, he's now considering that report and he'll respond to it in due course. But whatever the outcome on corporation tax devolution, this government is determined with the executive to present a modern, forward-looking Northern Ireland that's a great place for investment. That's what we'll be doing next year when County Fermanagh hosts the G8 summit, which brings together the leaders of 8 of the world's most powerful economies. This will showcase Northern Ireland as an inspirational setting for world leaders to discuss ambitious solutions to pressing global problems. It will demonstrate what an excellent location Northern Ireland is to visit and to do business in, and it will highlight the growing confidence that exists in this part of the United Kingdom. I believe that it will be a tremendous success for Northern Ireland, and I thank you for the resounding welcome that you gave the announcement on this last week.